Oh, wow. Welcome to a wealth version of Black Opinions Matter, motherfucker. My name's Amin Hassan. I'm joined, as always, by Big Jerv, the Duchess B, who's sipping on some Bel Air right now. And, we got a new addition to the podcast today, everybody. Black Trey won't be appearing on BOMM anymore. He's retired. In his stead, though, we got a new guy, big time, big deal guy, marketing guy from New York City. His name's Trav. Hey, Trav, how's it going? Trav from White and Kennedy.
I don't know who that is, but
thanks for joining us.
What's up, man? I appreciate you, man, showing love and all that. What's the deal?
I love that. This is how I know Trey done made it. It's not the Instagram post of him just looking like a completely different person, glasses and a smile, like, hi, I'm the new black guy in the office. It's not that. No, it's when I got a text saying, this is my new number. I said, oh, he's switching numbers. He's leaving a whole host of people behind. Like, you guys are my past and this is my future. I'm glad I made it to the future, Trav.
We made the cut.
We made the cut, B. How about that?
Man. Oh, y'all are so dramatic, dog. No, man, it had nothing to do with that, bro.
No, I get it, man.
I've been getting harassed by debt collectors from the previous number, whoever held my number before. And it had got to a point where I yelled, and I never yell. I yelled at the people like, this ain't her number no more. They've been looking for this lady for like 2 years, and I just kind of got sick and tired of it.
So my question is this.
It fell under harassment, though. But the timing was perfect because obviously I had to update my address. I'm located in Portland, Oregon now. So that's cool.
So my question is this.
What's up, big dog?
You got a 310 number now. I don't know if I give out too much information there.
No, it's fine.
How hard is it to get a 310? Because I know, like, for instance, in New York, there's certain area codes that are like, if you get one of those, this is the holiest of the holy. Like, if you had a 917 in New York, whew, you are a big deal. Because there's just 917 used to be the mobile area code at a time when people were getting on beepers and stuff. Okay. And then eventually everyone got a cell phone, so 917 ran out real quick. But if you have a 917, it is a status symbol. How hard is it to keep a 310?
I don't think it's hard because they recycle the numbers, but you have to also think about when you're asking for a new one, it might not be that many left. And I really begged and pleaded for like a new number because I didn't want to deal with the harassment that I was just getting from a previous owner of it, trying to track them down. You know what I mean? I hope that they've been found in a scenario to help their credit or something, but getting calls at 5 a.m. just wasn't it.
What if they had told you the only available area code they got for you is a 424?
I'm not doing it. I would have got the NYC number. Yeah.
Wait. For us that don't know, what's 424?
It's New Compton. So they pretty much tried to bully. So 310 and 323 are original LA numbers, right? And then 213. 213. Well, actually 310 and 213 was first. Then everybody kind of accepted 323. And now Compton has been ported over to 424. And if I call you, it'll come up as Beverly Hills. So anytime I call, somebody's like, oh, who calling from Beverly Hills? I'm like, no, it's Compton. But they've kind of ported that over as that's the prime location number for 310 quote unquote motors and all that other stuff.
So we're gentrifying area codes.
Area codes, yeah. That's the wild thing about it. Because think about what's a number in Philly, Jerv? It'd be 215 normally, right?
215, and if they ever try and give me 610 or 267, I'm not.
See, there you go. I think it's just that.
215.
And then B, what about you? What would be the area code from where you from?
336.
Okay, so what would be an off deck number that they would try to give you now?
They don't even have it yet. We haven't gotten to that point.
Crazy.
They haven't.
Back to the future ass city.
But I mean, also Vegas is 702. There's no other area code, so that's it.
Yeah, if they came out with a new area code for Vegas, no one would want to mess with that. You want a 702?
Absolutely not. Absolutely,
that's an iconic number. 702 is an iconic number. No one wants to deal with no like with the New York ones that I remember when 347 dropped, and I was like, that just sounds disgusting. And then they came out with another one after that, and I was like, this is something else. Atlanta is another one, right? 404 was the area code. 404 is 770. And then they came out with 678. And it's just like, it doesn't even sound like a real area code. So shout out to area codes. I got pros in all of them. Oh, man, we got a show today. P-Valley is back with its season finale. We've got Ruff Ryders, the last 2 episodes of the Ruff Ryders Chronicles, which have been remarkable. We've got Lovecraft Country, which I feel very John Gervais-esque on this. Deep sighs and eye rolls. And we'll get to it. I'll get deeper on that. We'll get to it. But I guess we want to start with the new story that's kind of gripped the nation over the last couple of days. The passing of actor Chadwick Boseman. He died at age 43, stage 4 colon cancer, a disease that he had and fought for the last 4 years in complete secrecy and privacy. Nobody, not his friends, not his coworkers, nobody outside, I guess, his immediate circle of his family knew that he was dealing with this disease. Mainly because he didn't talk about it, and also because he kept on with his life. He kept on making movies, physically taxing movies, right? Black Panther, the Avenger movies. I mean, Captain America Civil War came out before he caught the cancer, but just an incredibly bright career in a very short amount of time. I didn't realize that 42 was his first major movie role. Before that, he'd been doing TV stuff here and there. And so 42 came out in 2013, and Avengers Endgame came out 2019. So 6 years, he put out banger after banger after banger. And as I just said, most of those were as he suffered from cancer. And we got on Sunday night, ABC had a really nice tribute to him, where they talked to a lot of his co-workers and co-hosts and people who knew him way back when. He's got a really interesting life story, if you hadn't heard. He went to Howard University, Bachelor's of Fine Arts. He wanted to be, I believe, a director at first. He didn't even want to be an actor. One of his professors was Felicia Rashad, better known as Claire Huxtable. Also, Adonis Creed's mama, or stepmom, I guess, in the Creed movies. She was his professor at Howard. And, when the opportunity for him to go to Oxford University for kind of a program, an acting program that he couldn't afford to go on, Felicia Rashad reached out to a friend of hers and said, hey, I've got these students who want to go to this thing. They deserve it, but can't afford it. And that famous friend said, yeah, I got it. He put down some money and those people got to go. And years later, Chadwick Boseman discovered that famous friend was actually Denzel Washington. And he discovered it because Denzel met him at a premiere and said, hey, you owe me some money, which is, I thought, a pretty funny story. So he's kind of had this career that was highlighted by these iconic roles, touched by some of the biggest names in acting along the way, touched by so many different, lives, touching so many different lives. And also, he clearly had an approach that was about taking the right role, not necessarily any role. If any of you guys ever watched Hollywood Shuffle, which is a great movie that Robert Townsend and Keenen Ivory Wayans made a long, long time ago. It was their first movie that they made. They made it on a budget. They made it on credit. They made it in black and white, I believe. Or most of it was in black and white to save money. But they talk about in that movie, like the shortcuts that exist for black actors in this industry often are shortcuts that are demeaning roles or roles that don't portray and don't represent the black people and the black culture in a positive light. And so he made it a choice to choose roles that did not compromise those ideals. And I want to open it up to the panel right now and ask you guys if you have a specific Chad Boseman memory that you want to share, or something that you learned about him in the last few days that was enlightening. I guess we'll start with Trav.
This dude, man, he's killing me. I'm glad that we can find some type of light during this celebration of life. But I mean, I can't say that I was like the biggest fan, but I also wasn't like, I always tapped into most of his movies. I think The Five Bloods hits different now. I'll say that. I like Black Panther. I like, I forgot the actual title of the James Brown movie.
Get on up.
Get on up. He was killer in that. Like, he was killer in everything. And I looked at his, the tracking of all the movies that he played were very significant to the culture and what they were trying to give back, and had like messages, you know what I mean? But I think the craziest thing I took from all this was that he was diagnosed with cancer in 2016, and that crazy run to just kind of be private and not tell anyone and just be like, he beat cancer. That's how I felt. You know what I mean? Because mostly when you think about people getting cancer, it's over. It's like, let's just call it a wrap and prepare. He made the best of his 24 every single chance he got. And, obviously, although it caught us all in a shock, because I think it was like around 8 p.m. when it rolled out, when AP actually announced it. And I think it was Jerv that told us in the chat about it. And I was caught off guard because I'm just like, oh no, what happened? And then hear that it was cancer, and it never leaked. Shout out to his family and his team and keeping that very personal to, allow him to create that mastery that he created. You know what I mean? Like, I felt awful thinking about children that really looked up to him, you know what I mean? Watching Black Panther, and just, I really wasn't feeling the whole rollout of parents recording their kids while they're telling them that he passed and stuff.
We'll get to that.
But, like, his legacy will live on, you know what I mean? However you want to take it, you know what I'm saying? It's not like you're going to be bashing those type of movies that he was in, because, each role that he played, he highlighted an important Black figure or something Black related, you know what I mean? To uplift us, you know what I'm saying? And then watching just the interviews and stuff, like just different stuff. Like, I think it was one where people are talking to the poster, and he comes out on Jimmy Kimmel, and then he's giving hugs and stuff like that. And then also him breaking down, talking about the kids that passed away before seeing Black Panther. That was intense. Seeing it now and actually knowing the backstory of him going through all that as well. And then also going to visit the children's hospitals of, the cancer patients, and him also having cancer. Like, it just makes you look at things a little bit different. I'm not going to like sass the people that made jokes on Twitter, because people just make jokes regardless. But you never know what people are going through, you know what I mean? So I can't say that people are going to take this as a lesson learned, because shit, they was joking on somebody else earlier.
Yep, back to the jokes. It's always going to be back to the jokes.
Yeah, it's always going to be back to the jokes. But it was one of those pause moments. Everybody became doctors trying to tell people how to eat and all that other stuff. My only advice to take away from this is make the best of your time. Between Chadwick and Kobe, like, them dudes, they went after it, dog. Like, whenever you have no excuse, dog. I don't care how tired you are or how you feeling. We all on God's borrowed time, and that's how I feel, if you can contribute to that.
B, how'd you take it? What were some of the things that you learned over the last couple of days?
I'm going to say I'm a huge Chadwick Boseman fan, and I've been a huge fan of his for many years. So I can say that I've probably seen every interview, talk show, whatever, like anything that he was on, because he gave such few appearances that I always was tuned in. So the only thing that I learned was that he got married between sometime this year, before passing away. I knew that he was supposed to get married this year, and I knew that was something that he was, looking forward to. But I've always looked up to him. He's always been an inspirational person. that night, so because he is so quiet and reserved, especially on social media, I turn on his notifications so that whenever he would post on Instagram, I would get a notification to my phone. Same with Twitter. And just so that night, I get a notification like a new tweet from Chadwick Boseman. And I'm like, oh shit. Because he really hadn't said a thing in a few weeks. The last thing he posted was about Kamala Harris and, you know, getting out to vote. You know, he was very excited for her to, you know, be vice president, running for vice president. But I read that tweet and I froze. It was just so unexpected, and it really hurt because I've watched his entire career, but also seen his weight go up and down. You know, of course, everyone has their jokes, but knowing that he was a vegan, he was really careful about his health. He worked out. He had a pretty intense workout regimen, you know, to keep up with the grueling schedule of being an action movie star. I just thought it was for a role. The last thing I ever wanted to believe was that he was sick. So I always pushed it out of my head. So to see that he actually passed away, I was so shook. I felt like I couldn't breathe for a minute. But I really want to shout out to his team for being so tight-lipped about this and allowing him to do this on his terms. We didn't get it from a TMZ, you know, because, you know, they can't wait to come in and spill anybody's tea when people aren't ready. Right. So I'm just, I'm not a fan of many people, like at all. So to be a fan of Kobe and then to lose him, I really was pressed to learn more about Chadwick. Whenever I could watch anything that he had anything to do with, I was there for it. And the last thing that I remember him being a part of was The Shop. And he spoke about his the times that he's had conversations with Kobe. And
the crazy thing is, he had to know, right? When he's doing that episode, he knows. That's the wild thing about all of this stuff we're talking about. We're not talking about, oh man, this guy was in the prime of his career and was taking off and then he tragically, unexpectedly passed away. It was unexpected for us. But I can't imagine the burden. Forget about keeping the secret. Keeping the secret is hard enough. The burden of knowledge, it's a wrap.
Right. And I actually had the beautiful opportunity to meet him back in November because I love Chadwick so much as an artist. He inspired me to go back into, you know, I began writing again. I got a brand new camera so I could, you know, get back into photography, teaching myself filmmaking and directing because of him. I wanted to tell Black stories. I want to tell unique stories. And, you know, he always spoke about, you know, not playing the stereotype, to always, you know, choose characters with depth and meaning and, you know, a real beautiful story. No matter how, you know, conflicted someone is, it's still a beautiful and unique story that he wanted to portray. And so I remember I went to New York. I had tickets to go see him in the cast of 21 Bridges. They were speaking at Build in New York City, the little Yahoo Verizon Build series that they have. And after it was all over, well, even before it even began, he walked into the room and I didn't see him, but I felt a shift in the room because he was a very quiet but powerful presence. He had an aura about him. And I've heard people say this before, like, you know, people that he's been in movies with, like when he's on set, you feel it. And this is before he passed away. They're not saying this because he's, you know, no longer here.
Not to be nice.
Yeah, right. Yeah. People have always said this about him, that he is he has a very powerful presence. And he was standing right beside me. I just was so, like, I think like chills came over my body. I watched the interview. He was incredible. He's so articulate. He's an incredible orator. And he can describe a movie. And of course, everyone wants to always relate everything back to Black Panther, but he shows people that he's more than that. He's, you know, he talks about how the script of 21 Bridges was originally written for white people. Like, there were no Black men in that movie. You know, I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but it's Chadwick Boseman and Stephen James who play, you know, huge parts in the movie. And so he just talks about, you know, playing a cop in today's society. You know, of course, it wasn't like Black Lives Matter and, you know, we're talking about crooked cops or anything. It was just the way that it was played. It was perfect. Like, he conveyed everything that we needed in these crazy ass times. And so after we were instructed to not speak to anybody, you know, the cast of 21 Bridges, but me, I'm stubborn, and I had an opportunity to tell him exactly what I thought and what I felt about him. I'm not going to share that because that's just something I'm going to keep with, you know, in my heart forever. But he just listened to me. The eye contact, the way that he listened, and the interaction that we had, it was beautiful. I didn't get a picture, of course, but I didn't need it. I kind of feel like it was like when I met Kobe. I'm like, you know what? This moment is so special. I'm cool. Although I did end up meeting him again later, and my friend was begging me to take a picture. But I'm like, you know what? It's cool. I know one day I'm going to meet him again, and I'm going to tell him about the interaction that we had before. And, you know, I wanted to meet in that industry, in my element. You know what I mean? As
a peer, not as a fan.
Exactly. Yeah. I do kind of regret not getting a photo, just a little, but it will, like, losing Chadwick kind of changes the way that I'm going to interact with people from here on out. Like, I'm going to give people their flowers. I gave him his flowers. You know, I told him, you know, what I thought about him and how much he impacted me. But, you know, from here on out, I'm just going to be more vocal about how I feel about people.
Jerv, your thoughts? I know I saw in the special your buddy Mark Lamont Hill was in there. He made an appearance in that ABC special for Chadwick Boseman. What were your thoughts over the last 72 hours or so?
So when I found out, I was at work and I was working, just doing my normal 1-2, and I just heard mad people like running in the newsroom. And if anyone, if anyone's been around any type of like TV environment, or even if you watch television, when you hear people running, like, something happened. So, my homie came in and told me, he had passed. And I was just like, my initial thought was like, this is crazy, because I had just started like kind of trying to revisit some of the things. I didn't realize that I knew he was in Jackie Robinson. I really had never watched it. I think I watched like bits and pieces, and I didn't realize like Thurgood Marshall. I didn't watch the movie Be Talked About, but the last thing I saw was, the Five Bloods. And like Trey said, when you kind of look at it, you look at it with a different perspective at this point, to know that this man was going through something so crazy, and he did not, he didn't let it affect him. I mean, it was affecting him, but he didn't really let it
show.
Yeah. And, not to sound like a broken record, but like, I'm with Trey. Like, if anything I take from this, man, homie he got the most out of every 24 hours he was given. You know what I mean? And that is something that is, keep it real, it's inspirational, right? Like, that's something that we all like to say that we do. That's all something that we all, like, I would say not we all, but I would think most people would like to be able to live every day, not as if it's their last, but to live every day to the best that they can possibly live it that particular day. And to know that's what it was, to know that's what he was doing. That's amazing to me. I had no idea. Usually when people come up and something happens, you hear everyone say, oh, well, this person was amazing. But to see interviews prior and to still see people still saying like the same things they were saying, but not even more, and being able to see like their raw emotions, just lets you know how impactful this human being was. And for him to have been in so many inspirational roles, like I said, I didn't realize most of them. I'm not a follower of actors or actresses that much. Like, whatever movie comes out, I'll go check it if I want to check it, but I don't really look at people's catalogs and things of that nature. So I was shocked, not shocked, amazed at his catalog, and just to know the type of roles he was selecting. Didn't hear that speech that he gave and kind of explaining why he takes the certain roles that he takes or whatever, and how he turns down certain things. It was just dope, man. And, you just realize how good of a person and how impactful of a person that, not just the world, but like his family, his close ones. And, like everybody said already, shout out to them. That's amazing to be able to have, that's dope on their part to respect his wishes. And to let it play out how he wanted to play out, and not put it in not have people most likely out here feeling bad for him, because that's not what he wanted. He wanted
Right.
to just do it.
Yeah. I just want to leave y'all with this. I wish Waz were here actually, because, Waz was not a big fan of comic book movies. He just finds them lacking realism and stuff like that. And I know there are a lot of people who feel that way. I'm not here to vilify anyone. You like what you like. I can't force you to like something, but I can ask you to respect the work that went into it. And specifically on this, touching on what we all kind of mentioned about Chadwick and the grace he carried about himself. He had this interview that he did when Black Panther was coming out with CNET.com. The interviewer said, "You spent a lot of time thinking about how the king of an advanced African nation speaks, specifically your accent, your intonation. Tell us about it." And Chadwick responded, "People think about how race has affected the world. It's not just in the States. Colonialism is the cousin of slavery. Colonialism in Africa would have it that in order to be a ruler, his education comes from Europe," his being T'Challa. "I wanted to be completely sure that we didn't convey the idea that idea, because that would be counter to everything Wakanda is about. It's supposed to be the most technologically advanced nation on the planet. If it's supposed to not have been conquered, which means that advancement has happened without colonialism tainting it, poisoning the well, without stopping it or disrupting it, then there's no way he would speak with a European accent. If I did that, I would be conveying a white supremacist idea of what being educated is, what being royal or presidential is. Because it's not just about him running around fighting. He's the ruler of a nation. And if he's the ruler of a nation, he has to speak to his people. He has to galvanize his people. And there's no way I could speak to my people who have never been conquered by Europeans with a European voice." That is such an incredibly thoughtful kind of, he didn't just go out there, here are the lines, all right, let me act the line. I'm angry, I'm sad. He thought about what this character would be like.
God, he really gave so much of a fuck about everything that he did to think that deep into it, to go that far back, and to figure out why that was so important. And then to not only do that, but, go to Africa and study the dialect and have a dialect coach from, South Africa to make sure it sounds as authentic as possible. Because even if you go back to his comments when he just is speaking, people are like, I thought you were from Africa. Like, what's this accent? Like, what? You're American? So that's how he cared so much. And, I heard the same thing about, James Brown, where he had to embody that swagger and that voice and that everything about James Brown. And it took a long time for him to like rid himself of this James Brown aura that he had to carry around while he's filming.
He learned the dances. He did the dances.
He
went through the choreography.
Yes.
5 hours a day of choreography.
Yes.
Like, he could have easily, we've seen a million of these biopics. Could have easily, they shoot from the waist down. let some trained dancer come do the James Brown mashed potatoes dance and then cut back to the top. He said, no, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And that's, you got to respect it from the standpoint of just the artwork of someone going that method. But you also have to respect it from the standpoint, he really respected the roles that he played. He really had where he sat and beyond the script thought about these characters, whether they were real like James Brown or fictional like T'Challa. So we lost a great one. We lost a great one, but hopefully he can inspire millions of people in his passing, more so than he did even when he was alive. So R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. We move on to our next topic. Ruff Ryders. Let's do Ruff Ryders. Why not? I only watched the fourth episode. I didn't watch the fifth episode. So
let Jerv get his host on this time, man. I want to hear Jerv.
Jerv, you want
Jerv,
lead the way.
Just to look at his face, though. That's why I want him to host.
So you don't really miss anything with the last episode to me. You know, it kind of just wraps everything up, and then they give you which one is it? Y or D? Not the one that got in the accident.
Y.
They kind of show what he's doing now, whatever, and I'm kind of cool. Shout out to his son. That's dope. But I didn't need that. That was something that could have been in the last.
They had to sneak that in. No, listen.
No,
nothing
I
can
get
be
it.
perfect.
I get it.
They know how to muck it up.
I get it, bro. It's marketing. He had 1 million some views or eyes on it. Now everybody knows his son. But I think that it was dope watching like the fourth episode, which would be the one where they kind of show like the downfall. And you know what I mean? Like I know you remember the era, Trey. You might or whatever. Like as far as like how it really was, but like for me, that thing was a crazy movement, and then out of nowhere, it was just like it was gone. Yeah. Like you knew. I mean, you had an idea.
I didn't know what was. I knew obviously X had issues, right? When he got to Arizona, they didn't really touch on it in the fourth episode. I don't know if they touched on it.
That was a great reality TV show too, by the way.
Yeah.
I would watch that again.
Oh yeah.
But also he was erratic. Like again, like the drug use was apparent at a time. I didn't know the drug use had been going on the entire time. Right? By the time he was in Arizona, like we knew, my man's on crack. Like it was obvious, right? But again, it also gave us, I thought, a really solid album in the Great Depression, which I didn't know was recorded in Arizona. So, like the downfall, the things that I didn't know, Jerv, was stuff like that. Obviously, the friction behind the scenes. He felt the type of way of not getting a cut of the label, and I built it. No, I don't remember any of that stuff. I remember Bloodline. I just figured that's what every rapper does. Because you're signed to a deal, so you want to be an owner, so then you start your own label and sign other acts, and then when your current deal is up, you switch to your own label. I didn't know that was what was happening there behind the scenes.
So let me ask you this, Trey. When you're watching the 4th episode or whatever, like how is it for you? Are you like really into it? Like, I mean, because like I said, I lived it. I'm a little older, so I remember it differently, whatever the case may be. Is it like shocking to you, or you kind of had an idea of everything that was kind of going on?
Well, it's kind of similar to like No Limit. Every dog has their day. No pun. But like in that scenario, like you have to look at it like during that shift, Irv helping DMX was kind of transition of like Murder Inc. And then Rockefeller just like, boom. You feel me? It was kind of like No Limit and Cash Money, where Cash Money was just like, boom. Like, all right, we about to take off. So like, although they had all the talent and everybody like Eve started acting and she started doing her stuff, like everybody was kind of starting to, do their own thing. And the fact that DMX was just, I hate to call him a crackhead, man, but yeah, man, him.
I mean,
I mean,
the definition.
that's what it is.
That's
yeah, he
like,
pretty much had.
It's not someone who tried crack.
Yeah,
like,
well, you know, DMX being a crackhead and then obviously being so young and not, you know what I mean? Because like we didn't have social media, like, so I didn't have an optical on him like every week he's on TMZ or something like that. It was just kind of like, okay, his movie's coming out. Oh, he got an album, not knowing that dude probably went on a 2-week binge of crack before he probably finished that movie or created that album. You know what I mean? And like, still excellent at that time. And when you start seeing him get arrested and more arrested, obviously he was kind of out of sight, out of mind because Jay-Z was there now for me. And it was easy for me to walk away from certain artists.
Transition. Yeah,
it's easy. When you look at that, that's like anybody. Like right now, Drake is hot. But like if there was another artist that was just really just kind of blowing out of the water, we won't lose any sleep. We're like, dang, it's cold how y'all did Drake. It'd be like, okay, he's the next nigga up. That's just the game. Like Ice Cube said it, right? When they were like, what do you think about Pusha T going up against Drake? He was like, in rap, you low-key get a 3 to 4 year run if you're lucky. And if you get that and you're still able to make music there, great. But like you have your chance to be at the top and then that next person comes. And obviously we were switching with genres and same thing. Like Amin and Jerv probably will frown up about this, but like the West Coast when Game dropped, right? We thought we had a breath of fresh air, and then Atlanta came and was like, nope. You know what I'm saying? Nope. And Atlanta's been kicking ass for a long. The South in general, I don't even say Atlanta. The South in general has been kicking ass for so long that even New York started to say, let me get some of them beats. You know what I'm saying? Right. And all those rappers, the Yo Son niggas, was like now doing all that shit, like talking down south.
Yo Son.
Yeah, the Yo Sons. Let me cool it though, because I'm about to be a New Yorker.
Watch out,
yeah, let me chill out, because things might get me up in the boroughs. I'm cool. I'll be in Yonkers.
The movie deal thing was hilarious. I had no idea, man.
He was in a million of them things.
But he messed it up. He had a deal, $50 million deal. And he blew it because he just didn't want to show up. Crackhead tendencies, man.
Hey, but you also got to look at the thing too, though, I mean, is that he never was flashy. He was constantly giving shit away. He might have been the most friendliest crackhead you know. Because it wasn't a trade-off for crack. It was just like, I don't care about none of this. The only ills of the world that I really love, obviously, you know, I love, that nigga got a bunch of kids. But shout out to his ex-wife, too. She was holding that. Listen, I don't know too many people that's that loyal, bro. She seen that nigga blasting up. She done seen him go in and out of jail. She done watch him have baby on top of baby to, you know, still be able to, I don't know if she got a cut off of that. I hope she got a cut off of that just to be involved in that. But man, she was loyal, bro.
The other thing was that I thought was interesting was how the Locks got off a Bad Boy.
Yeah.
And all my life, yeah. Go ahead, B.
Yo, 3 million? 3 million?
It sounds low, right? Or it sounded like a lot?
For me, that sounds like a lot.
What?
At the time, though. At the time, when people were selling records, where platinum was a thing that happened because you were actually selling 1 million CDs, not because people were streaming.
I mean, that's $1 million per artist.
I mean, I just, like, to me, I felt like all my life I thought that it was kind of like how they got them out of the promotion deal earlier. I thought Warren D went in there and like, yo, here's the deal.
Yeah.
These are our niggas. And they gonna come on. And it turns out like it was actually a very like friendly, oh yeah, guys, let's work it out. Let's do it a favor. Here's $3 million. Like that's it. Like I always thought like they came in there with baseball bats and basically shook Puff down. So
that's what I thought. Yeah. I always heard stories like that they were so unhappy that they were just turning shit up and they had to somehow fight their way physically out of the Bad Boy deal. That's what I always thought. My country ass, but yeah.
Did y'all? Okay, do you guys remember when that album dropped though? I mean that was the most. Dude, I'm telling you, all that stuff where they start talking about like Puff had us in shiny suits and we would take it off as soon as the shoot was done and all that, and then they finally got it done. And we put out the album. And I remember the title of the album, maybe one of the hardest titles I've ever heard. Because if you understood what was happening with that group, for them to put out that album and call it "We Are the Streets," it was like all that shit is done with. And then that track "Wild Out" came out. Man, like we would wild the fuck out when that song came out.
So what's funny?
That's
from a West Coast
right
from
there,
a West
bro.
Coast post. Shouts to Keeson, Bobby Jones, friend of the pod. Corey McLaurin. I had a group, and we would always argue Ruff Ryders versus Cash Money, because at that time they were there, and I was both. I was trying to play in the middle, and they wouldn't let me do that. So I was Ruff Ryders, Ride or Die Volume 1, Volume 2, the locks. Because when Fuck You came out, oh my God. Like, it was just a lot of shit. But when Wild Out, because I told y'all my embarrassing moments, even though we didn't add that to the segment. My embarrassing moments was seeing Belly once, and then thinking I was Tommy Buns. So I'm wearing puka shells,
moment of vulnerability.
A shirts, because I don't call politically correct. We don't say wife beater. So A shirts. And then Jesus. I had a Hawaiian shirt, wide open. And I would go to high school like this with some size 38 jeans. And then
38,
bro. Listen, different type of time out here. By the way, my shirt was 2XL, by the way. There we go. I'm a little guy, first of all.
Of course it was.
And then I had, and this is the funny thing about him. Amin gave some passes about a certain amount of Timbs, but when you look back, I would probably only do wheat, but in 10th grade, I did paprika. I did
all the flavors.
No, not all. I never did white. I did have.
That one was like Moby Dick, man. Yeah. Like if you found the white Timbs, it was like the rarest one ever.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. So I had like a forest green. I remember in East Bay, I just was like 149. Yep, fired up. And that's the thing. Like cats were like kind of like not really paying attention of how much Tim's cost. Cause I always was like, okay, I got the the D-boy look, bro. You ain't even like, I got burnt orange. The only pair I never wore, and I was glad I didn't, was the butt nakeds, right? And
child,
what I would do.
I was about to ask you that.
Here's the crazy thing about it. I would pause Belly, try to zoom, like get really close to see how the Timbs should be laced. And I had, and I was listening. Wow. Yeah. So I would see like, okay, fold the tongue, tie it a little bit, and then like let the laces, you know how the laces used to kind of get like, if you step on them or something, like they kind of tear on accident. I was really going hard with that. And I really wanted to like be them. I embodied that. Cause like hip hop culture in Compton, we don't have like, now I could say we have a culture as an adult, but watching BET every day or watching rappers, I jumped from DMX to Fab. And then Fab, and then Hove ruined my life though at 19. I threw away everything that's probably worth money now.
Shirts.
Listen, I'm 19 dressed like a 35-year-old that don't get no play in the club, bro. I'm wearing, first of all, beanie hats. I'm wearing button-ups with cufflinks. I'm wearing
the cufflinks.
I'm wearing Rockaware jeans with S. Carters, right? And I just thinking, because Hove told me throw on a suit and get it tapered up. Yep.
Yo, hold on.
Hold up, bro. All the times you slandered me, whoa.
I was fly though, my nigga.
Yo, bro, you had the whole Hove look.
I had the whole look. The beanie hat too. The dust off your shoulders.
Yo, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
All right, let me ask real quick around the room. Yes or no? Have you ever butt naked Timbs?
Absolutely not.
Good.
Hell no.
Okay, all right. Trey, you already answered. All right, next one. The mid Timbs, that like half ones.
No.
No?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Multiple. Multiple pairs.
Trav, the halfway Timbs.
No low tops, no mids, no buffalinos.
You ain't had the low tops, bro?
Huh?
Had to do it.
You had to have the low tops,
to have them,
bro. Man.
Like I remember when they dropped them. I'm like, finally.
I remember it was a nasty. It was a nasty time, right? It was some cats I went to PE with. This one cat had the cargo sweats, and was wearing them shits.
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
like, yo,
I
you're
love cargo sweats,
gross,
man.
dog.
The
You're
cargo
because
sweat.
you know the fit was different then.
With
It
the
wasn't. It
tip.
didn't have like the piping at the bottom, so it was like wide, and you just
Wide,
ugh. That's like boot cut. That's
I
like
hate
boot cut
cargo
sweats.
sweats.
You could only wear them with Timbs. That was the only type of shoe you could wear them in because it was the only shoe big enough to kind of go with it. All right, here's the next one. Do y'all remember the convertible Timbs? It was a high top, but then you could
had
roll
those.
it down.
I'm tripping. I
I
had
had
those.
them. I was
Ugh.
you roll them down, and it had a pattern on the inside. I was killing them because then you had to kind of like you was just wearing them, and your jeans were covered, but then you would like sit down and like pull the jeans leg up, and it had that pattern. Like, ooh!
Y'all had convertible Timbs.
Do you remember them?
Yeah,
Jerv?
I
You
remember.
remember what I'm talking
It
about?
was like light. It was a light green, Jerv.
Hell
Yep.
no.
It was a light
Jerv,
green,
you don't remember?
and then the wheat.
It
was wheat and then
Yep.
green, like an army. You know how the army boots go, where they go into that?
Oh,
Come on, don't front on them because you wanted them,
when
nigga.
You, said
You wanted them.
no. When you said convertible, I'm thinking, man, listen, you talking about the ones that y'all call like the New York people call beef and broccoli and all them Jones?
No. Not just the colorway.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about that style.
Yeah, but that's that colorway. But then it would also roll down.
Oh no,
Like the top half
No.
wasn't hard like a regular
Listen.
Tim. It was a spineless material, so that you could either lace it up and go high, or you could like unlace it and then roll it down, and it would roll down, and now it became a mid shoe. But like when it rolled down, it had a different pattern on the inside. So you were showing off these little Timberland trees and shit like that. Woo!
See, I
That
did
shit
not
is hell
have.
no.
I had the classic, but I did get the Steve Madden, the fake like Manolo
The
Blahnik.
fake Manolo boots, fake
Yeah.
for Steve Madden.
Yep, I had them. And when that line came out, I was like, oh well,
Yeah.
whatever.
Hope
cute.
messed up so many people's wardrobes, man.
Yeah, I honestly think he did that shit on purpose. Like, I'm getting old. I'm gonna just ruin this for everybody because I know people just look up to me. But I was just a lost dude. Like, you gotta think about it. I had 2001 to 2002. I had the sidekick because of Fab. I had the oversized jerseys because of Fab. Sean John had just hit the scene. Academics had just hit the scene. I had oversized velours.
Velours.
Man, I was just looking ridiculous. Size 8 hats, size 7 and 5/8 hats.
Wait. Did you say a size 8?
8, bro. I'm talking about where I would wear it and like the logo would be in the front, and it got to a point where like it would droop down and cover. But I didn't know, bro, because I was wearing a do-rag under. Like it was nasty times, bro. Like if I look at myself now, I felt cool because of the price. That's the thing. Just because you got money don't mean you got style. And in that particular situation, like I was just overdressing. Because if I seen any rapper go to Big Tigger's basement, I was like, I got to go to Men's Land and get that fit.
I saw any
Men's
rapper
Land.
with a
That
big
sounds.
basement.
Oh,
Yo, go ahead.
can I ask one? Did you guys have the Jodeci's?
Nah, I'm too young for that.
What was that?
The,
Not the black ones.
I'm
black
too young
leather
for that.
ones with the
No,
Okay.
no. That was a very frat. Like all the
Yeah, nah.
frats had like the Qs and all, they all had those type of boots, and I was always just like, nah, man. I always thought about when you were a kid, you thought about your mama wears combat boots. That's what I always think about when niggas was wearing. Niggas was wearing those boots with like overalls, but no shirt underneath the overall, and the one strap. I was like, yo, that wasn't my style at all. P Valley season finale. Won't lie, I fell asleep in the middle.
Hey,
of it.
I ain't gonna lie, it was rough.
Got up to the point.
It was rough.
I got up to the point where I don't know how it ended. I got up to the point where they had the rally, and with the mama and
We share
and
the
Uncle
wealth
Cliff.
right here. So let B
And
play
that's-
point.
Look, this
Yep.
was my favorite episode. This episode was so funny to me. I really enjoyed every single moment, from Uncle Clifford's outfits. So I'm guessing you missed the whole date night.
Oh, he went on a date with little mother.
Yo, that outfit
Oh,
was
man.
crazy too, by the way.
The outfit at the rally was crazy. What, did he have a crazier one? to the date?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, corset, gold with the titties out. It was cute.
Hey, Uncle Clifford becoming a slay, dog. Uncle Murder is funny, by the way.
It was the pink last night.
Yeah, he had to show up in the So it was not the season finale. Next week will be the last episode. Thank God.
Good,
so
good.
yeah, so we still don't know the fate of the pink, not yet. But we have to talk about this. You have to go back and catch up because this episode was so incredible to me, especially with Lil Murda having stage fright, I guess, and having to, so
be butt naked in practice.
Lil Murda has to get rid of his manager and just hire Keyshawn, little Miss Mississippi, because she knows how to, bring the good out of him. She has a whole plan of how to make this dude a star. While his manager, he's not homophobic, but he's just like, you're not going to be able to make it if people find out that you have this attraction. So yeah, this episode was so funny. I loved every little quip from, the interaction between Mercedes and Uncle Clifford, how she was so upset that, she looked on the news and she sees them two, preaching, and Uncle Clifford has a tambourine going in with the Black Power little beret and it was, it was so good. What did you think about it, Trey? Did you finish the whole episode?
I didn't even get to finish it. I was like, Amin, I was so tired. You understand? Like I just moved to Portland yesterday. So I was trying to make it work and then trying to squeeze in so many things to watch. But I'm gonna run it back because I really was excited about it and I really enjoyed this show and I don't think that it'll let me down as much. But I'm interested to see how they go about into a next season, because those are the things that you have to factor in, because it's a lot that you can kind of get an idea of and say, okay, this character's gonna do this character's gonna do that, or what do you think about that? And I'm just kind of nervous that this show can really get fucked up the next season.
Yeah.
Yo, how do y'all feel about the mayor? The point that he made, right? That because what's his name?
Andre
was trying to shit on him, saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna go down to that park. The park that's named after you." And trying to shit on him basically for being on the take. And the mayor's whole thing is like, you are the direct beneficiary of all the shit I went through. And all the stuff I'm doing is to give more people opportunities. And it may not seem like that to you because you're trying to like accomplish some other shit, but like really, I'm the one basically who made all this shit happen. How do we feel about the mayor basically saying like that's just the best way to get stuff done?
I think it's real.
I kind of felt, I was like, he's got a point. For the first time, I didn't feel like, he's so shiesty. I felt like, he's making a good point.
Yeah, almost like I walked so you could run. Like you need to pay homage, like show me more respect. Of course, like I absolutely agree with him. It just really sucks that this situation, Andre is trying to, I don't know. What is Andre trying to accomplish besides getting a check?
I'm telling you, he a fake good dude. Fake good dude.
He is.
That's all. He trying to oversell that goodness. Like, I do this, and you know what I mean. I'm not.
I care about.
Yeah, he want to sell that, but he also greedy on another end. He think he's slick.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you guys didn't see Andre's wife pull up.
Oh wow!
Oh, I saw that.
Wow!
Oh, I saw Andre's wife pull up. Andre was
like he's seen a ghost, huh?
Yeah.
Come on, bruh.
Wait, she pulled up on him in what?
So
context?
he went to Autumn invited Andre to come to the Pink for one last dance. Mercedes talked Autumn into inviting him, so she sent the text. He pulled up. And he's in the room with her. They're alone. She's giving him a dance. She's unbuckling his pants like they were really about to get it in, but his phone kept ringing. And it was his wife. He kept, muting it and pushing it off to the side. And Autumn's like, I think you should answer this. It might be an emergency. And she answers the phone for him and puts it up to his face. So he has to say hello. And she's like, Andre, where are you? He's like, oh, I'm at home. And she was like, well, are you? Because you're not here, because I'm here, you know? So he had to leave the pink and go back to his room, sexually frustrated, and show up to his wife trying to figure out where the hell he's been.
Oh, man. He should have lied and been like, yo, I'm at the pink. We're doing a business deal. We're trying to close this deal.
He ain't that slick.
So that nigga's not, he's not good at lying on his feet.
I had two beefs with that scene. One, once again, Andre was about to raw dog it. He didn't care about protection. Like I just don't understand. Like, I don't
bad
get
chicks
it.
make you wild out, big dog. You lose it.
Bruh, listen, I get it. I'm just saying, bruh, you knew what you was coming there for, right? Why you ain't just stop and get one on the way? That was the problem last time for you. And then my other beef was, yo, they just let his wife in the room. Isn't that kind of like illegal?
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he didn't put her name down as someone that can get a key, right?
You got to
But
let some
that takes you back to the previous episodes when the hotel front desk guy sees that he's out here doing some sneaky shit. So maybe he was like,
right.
oh, you're his wife? Perfect.
Go ahead.
Here's the key. Catch him in some shit.
He need to steal the hotel dude. I'm sorry. That's my wife, bro. You gotta relax.
Mind your business.
Yeah, like chill out.
All right. Last topic. Lovecraft Country. I'm gonna be honest, man. I got two problems. One is the supernatural shit is just a little too supernatural for me. And two is I'm sensing a theme where every episode we get racist white people who get dealt with by the end of the episode. So each episode is kind of like a standalone, which I'm not really feeling. I want the problems to not be solved within the span of the same episode. Right? You notice that, Jerv?
I agree with you, my friend. I actually think you're right with the scenario, but I think I thought it was every 2 episodes because unless the first one was just a filler, they couldn't just.
The first one, here's it. The first one was the sheriff, was the racist guy. The sheriff from that stopped him on the road.
Yeah.
The second episode was the Braith Whites and like the Sons of Adam in the house, right? The third one was the people in the neighborhood on the north side. Like in every episode, we're introduced to a racist white person, and by the end of that episode, that racist white person is dead. And we haven't seen a single racist white person survive past the episode they appear.
So basically, we're watching a horror version of Law and Order because every episode is standalone.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
The big payback.
No, it wasn't. I wasn't as upset as this one until the end where all the spirits come and they hold hands, and then all of a sudden she goes from being super duper afraid of, which I'm not knocking her. I'd have been damn near pissing on myself, and now she's holding hands with the spirits. Like, how did she think to just do that? Like, what made her say, "Let me hold their hands"? Could she understand them or something?
Yeah. I don't know. And she's a bit of an overactor. Like every time she screams, it's just so over the top. I'm like,
hey, everybody thought she deserved all the love.
Nah, man. Like I'm really getting tired of every time she cries or is scared. It's just a lot of snot. Like she's just over the top, man. Over the top. Like just relax. Pull it back just like 10%. I get it. It's a supernatural show and I accept it, but it doesn't have to be like, you know what it feels like? It feels like a TNT show. It doesn't feel like an HBO show. It feels like a TNT show. And that's.
You know what? This is definitely something that you could fall asleep during the Inside of the NBA and wake up at like 3:30 in the morning and like, you know what I mean? Hearing in the background, this is 100% dead. 100%.
Were y'all surprised that my man was her first? That Tick was her first?
First of all, that's a sick
shocked,
name.
But I thought I thought the blood was from the whatever it was, the spirit that was in the room prior.
Me too.
So I was a tiny bit shocked, but then again, like Trey said, I'm not shocked really, honestly.
Question. So you like a girl, you walk into a party, you see her dancing with somebody else, and also another dude comes up to you and says, yo, I used to mess with her in high school. How are you approaching that situation from that point? And obviously, B, we could flip it for you. You like a guy, you walk in a party, he's dancing with another girl, and then another girl comes up to you, like, I used to mess with him in high school. How are each of y'all dealing with this scenario? Jerv, let me start with you.
Because of how homie said I used to mess with her, I'd have been cool with it. But if he had said it like a little different, like, yeah, I used to mess with her in high school, like something like that. My perspective might have been a little different, but I wouldn't care. I wouldn't have cared.
I feel like it's different for women. Like, it's just guys. Y'all be out here doing any and everything. So it's like, okay, cool.
Who is y'all?
Who cares? Who cares? No, I wouldn't be bothered by that. Okay, girl.
Trey. Did you not pay attention to the question, goddammit? Damn, nigga. We only ask an hour of your day.
Come on,
Travis.
No, because listen, for one, I don't know why I mean trying to drag that out.
Sorry,
I ain't answering that.
I'm texting the East Coast. Sorry.
East Coast. I'm not answering to Trav, man. He gonna have all the world calling me Trav being rude. I'm gonna start blocking people. But nah, man, we didn't highlight the part, you know what I mean, the little boy being Emmett Till.
Bro, I asked the question.
I didn't ask the question again, bro.
I said, how would you feel if a girl that you like, you show up to the party, she's dancing, she's clearly into it, dancing with another dude, and then a third dude shows up and says, yeah, me and her used to mess around in high school.
I wouldn't feel away.
Really? Man, I feel like all of y'all are very, like, forgiving me. I'm like,
I mean,
fuck that,
I think I have to base it off of, if I was 17 or 16 and I really care about, at that time, caring about what people think. Yeah, absolutely.
But like here's the thing. He clearly cares about her and she's shown that she's interested in him. Yeah, man, I'm a jealous.
See, yeah, I'm not.
So that's what
I'm not.
That's what it would take
man.
for you to be off her.
Yeah, I mean, let me put it this way. I probably would go home, and then if I get a text like "you up," I'm like,
yes, it's funny.
I would definitely.
But no, I mean, I don't like to say that I'm not jealous, but I'm just.
But in the moment, I would definitely feel like.
I think I'm too nonchalant, and it comes off as too much. I don't care. But in that particular situation, I don't think I would make a big deal. Because
I wouldn't go up to her like, I thought you liked me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. I leave. I just go.
I'm funny like that though. If you was my girl and you talking to somebody too long, I'm walking. I'm about to dip. Like you said, I'm sliding. You too friendly.
Yeah.
That's 3 minutes. That's 3 minutes too long. You better say, hey,
you out here locking
so
eyes.
So B, you
with
out
that
here
nigga,
kikiing?
like, got your arm around him. Like,
no, if it's a problem,
you falling on a nigga arm like that, like
come get me. Come get me.
I'm
Say,
cool.
hey, it's time to go. Because I might be waiting on you to pull up. Like
I'm cool.
Like,
but that's
I might be stuck.
Isn't that like, to me? That's not cool.
I might be stuck. Right? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, but damn, she didn't look stuck.
No, she wasn't stuck at all.
But you say I might be stuck. Nah, you just slide. You got to do the big goodbye. Shouts to big goodbye, by the way.
That'll be our big goodbye, by the way. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Big Jerv. Thank you, B. Thank you, Trav. Thank you, Rob Lopez on production. This has been Black Opinions Matter. Please like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff for us, and make sure you are checking out all the other shows on the network, including, it's finally official, I've been waiting on this news for like months.
Yes.
Our newest show on the network. Take it away, B. What is it called and what day does it come
Crazy,
out?
Sexy, Cool. We will be joining Count the Deans Network next week. So look out for us. I cannot wait to join the lineup, and we're going to have a good ass time.
Mondays, we are committed to giving you guys diverse opinions, diverse shows. This is, I think, a space for a long time we haven't done a good enough job of addressing. And so I'm really proud and happy to welcome Crazy, Sexy, Cool to the lineup to give us a different perspective that we don't usually get on the show, or we get in small doses when B is on with us on BOMM. So everybody, make sure, obviously, if you're subscribed to the BOMM channel, you're gonna get Crazy, Sexy, Cool. Make sure you're downloading their episodes. Make sure you're listening and supporting and sharing and liking, because we obviously want to be supportive of the diversity of opinion, but we also, it's a good ass show. I don't know what else to tell you. It's a good ass show.
Get ready. Make sure your kids aren't around, because we talking about everything.
That E will be next to the episode.
Oh, absolutely. Explicit, okay?
Explicit thugs.
Yes, I'm so excited.